Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's happening. So, hello everybody, welcome back to the Queen's Panel. Today we'll be discussing, obviously, Love Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 9. Honestly, without going into too much details, how did you feel about the episode?
I think this was a good one. Finally. I don't know how I felt about the past one so far, but this one was a good one. It's a lot to talk about.
I'll agree that it's better than the previous. Now, as far as it really being a good one, no, because still some of them scenes didn't make no sense. Marsau talking to Latisha, that was what? You just wanted us to see y'all move out? Okay, that's cool. And then for you to tell her that she needs to gossip, you, yeah, that's
Listen.
mine.
Oh wait, are we ready to jump in?
Now,
Because
No,
let's
I'm
jump
sorry, that was
in
okay,
just mine.
because
okay,
Gigi always jumps in before I jump.
okay.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I'm ready.
yeah.
All
Well,
right.
I felt it was a decent episode. Of course, I agree with you, Gigi. Like, I feel like there were some scenes that come and like do some editing, like cut it out. We didn't need all of that.
Right.
You know? But all in all, I think it's still the first episode that is the best episode that we've had of this season, which is telling. Which means we haven't really had great a great season to begin with. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
And this is episode 9.
And we're
Like,
almost
that's,
halfway to the
That's shocking.
mid-season break.
That is
yeah.
shocking.
3 more
Mm.
episodes before the mid-season break. But anyways, let's start off with Latisha and Marsau. So Marsau comes in. Although the scene made no sense because I'm like, why? He comes in and Latisha is packing boxes and they started discussing Tiffany, Martell, and the whole meeting with the whole charade. Before I give my opinion, because you guys, what did you think about that?
Listen, Martell said, we're gonna get this storyline off of me. And we're gonna talk about somebody else's business. That's what that was. We got a good little peek into their pillow talk, their husband and wife pillow talk. And Marsau is being, did I call him Martell the first time? My bad. Marsau is being so messy. And I'm here for it. Like, he's making good TV. Albeit that it's kind of weird coming from a man. He's making good TV. It's entertaining.
See, for me, it's totally different because one, men shouldn't be speaking on female situations, period. And for you to be going back to gossip to your wife about it and then tell her to gossip to her friends about it, that just, it was, there was no reason for it. Like, I feel like that scene mainly was for us to show us that they're broke and they have to move out of that house. Like, that's all that scene gave.
Not
I
broke.
felt like he was acting like a puppet master. You know when a puppet master is like, "Oh, do this, okay." I felt like that's what he was doing. He was trying to create a moment, and the
Hmm.
problem
He
with
had
this
to give
show
her a bone.
exactly is like no one really wants to show their real lives. So instead, when something lands in their lap, they're like, "Oh, we have to beat it and like use it for this whole episode." That's
Yeah.
what it was like. I think Marsau is very disrespectful. How can you say someone doesn't have it all together? You weren't even there. It didn't happen right in front of you. How do you know how the conversation really went? Okay. All you heard
Hmm.
is Mattel talk about it, and then Tiffany confirmed certain things, but you were not there. So how can you say someone doesn't have it together? That's your so-called friend's wife. The audacity, the disrespect. And to me, I think the bigger issue is Marsau clearly is disrespectful, has no respect for Tiffany, and has no respect for Big Lou. Because if you have any
Right.
respect for that man, you are not going to say his wife does not have it all together, honey. That will not come out of your mouth.
I found it really odd for him to go
Rochelle
into
does
the
not.
house.
She does not agree.
You don't agree? I find it weird how he went into the house and was like, "Y'all didn't tell me about Tiffany." Like, who needed to tell you
What were you
something about
supposed to
Tiffany?
know?
He didn't know how messy Tiffany could get.
Well, it's
That's what
also
y'all never said.
messy. I'm sorry, you cannot excuse him because when he was defining what a Karen meant, he fits into the whole description.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is minding someone else's business. So I don't know. Although it was fun to see them interact without him being quite disrespectful to Tisha, I'm like, as this comment said, when will they talk about their lawsuits?
Never. It ain't gonna happen.
You know how most of them get on and be like, well, this is still going on in court, so we can't talk about this. That's probably what that is.
Oh, please.
Yeah, but it could at least be a scene where it's like, oh, there is a lawsuit going on, but we can't talk about it, right? The problem is everything is happening on social media, and that's the problem with the show. Everything happens on social media, and then you watch the show, and there is no storyline, and you're like, seriously, we might as well just stick to social media and let social media tell the story for us. As viewers.
But actually, regardless of me bashing Marsau and Tisha, and I feel that scene was way too produced, it was actually fun to see them sit down, gossip. At least they gave us something. Because if I can remember, throughout the past 9 episodes, they're giving us nothing. So,
Child, listen, I didn't even know we was at 9 episodes.
I didn't either.
So that's why I'm like, I'm excited because we finally got something.
Right. That's what I said. It gave a little more than what it's been giving. Now, was it still giving enough? No. Because honestly, instead of them gossiping about somebody else's marriage.
Anything that is giving more than Real Housewife is giving to me.
Yeah. Honey law. The audacity of some of these shows. Like they're losing their touch. They've been on too long. Same people's been on the staff. We need some new board members. We need a new creative director. I don't know who it is, but somebody needs to talk to Tyler Perry or somebody. I don't know. Shit.
But anyway, although I have my problem against them, I did think that they were fun seeing them gossip, laugh, because we've not really had like good interactions between Marsau and Tisha. And although I wish they can speak about their issues, I don't think they would. I'm so sure they would not speak about this, their failed fundraiser again. I'm sure they won't speak about this, their failed party. Basically, they do not really speak about anything. But the scene was cute. As much as I really do not want to say it, it was. So I would give kudos when it's.
I guess you could say it was cute for who was in the scene.
Woo! Okay, girl.
I mean, because they're still not giving, like, let us know what y'all really have going on. Gossip about y'all's real business. Gossip about y'all's real intentions, with each other. Because even still in that scene, when they were talking about the whole breaking the ground and them building on their land and all that other stuff, Marsau was still correcting her. Tisha was like, it might be 2 to 3 years. She's like, 3 to 2. What's the difference?
But he said that they do not even know when the manor is going to be built.
And they can't even tell us why.
Yeah.
What was his other comment? You can't put a time on dreams. All right, that sounds to me like y'all don't have the funds to do it. The PPP loan done ran out. Now y'all sitting there broken, penniless, and y'all trying to have these fundraisers that y'all are not even raising no funds for. So
honestly, they give the show no substance except inserting themselves in people's drama. Because from last episode to this episode, they've basically been just inserting themselves. As much as I feel like that was an interesting interaction and he saw them in like a good light as a couple, give us something to work with. That's what I'm saying. But now let's go on to the main character, Tiffany. I'm sorry. I had to laugh a little bit watching this part of the show because I'm like,
wow. Tiffany. Yeah, Tiffany. She knew what she was doing. You see that smirk on her face? She almost looks like the Grinch. Look at that face.
She's like, there, I've gotten what I wanted.
Tiffany, my thoughts was, yeah, it's definitely giving Karen. It is.
In some ways, yeah, I'm with you.
But as sorry, when she ran to her husband Big Lou, she was like, "Your friends, they called me a Karen," and then Marsau and Martell came at me, and I noticed that she tried to make herself seem like the victim.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, do you know where Martell and Marsau lost? The fact that Martell pulled Marsau into this situation.
The
As
fact
I
that he
said,
allowed him to sit there in on the conversation, he could have had him move. He didn't need to be a part of it. So he was wrong for that. Honestly, I think he was wrong. I feel like maybe we're going to get to this more towards the end since that's what it was about. But he was wrong for not going to that woman's husband in the first place. He should have, period. And then let Lou deal with it. But having Marsau there, but again, Marsau is trying to give us good TV.
well, you
Marcel is
can give
trying
us
to
good
be a
TV with
female too much.
marriage.
I'm sorry.
Actually, I feel like
Marcel
Mattel
exposed
needs
his
backup.
vagina.
I actually think Mattel needs backup, in quotation marks. I think he wanted Marsau to sit in on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way they came to the baby shower, it was like tag team. It
Oh,
was
Mm-hmm.
they
planned.
look like homeless men.
Okay? Exactly.
Jesus.
They came for a fight. That's what it was
Yeah.
given. Okay? And so for me, I feel that it was intentional that he pulled Marsau into that conversation. He knew that Marsau would have more vim than he would have to begin with. He knew what he was doing. There's nothing anyone can tell me, even if anyone disagrees on this panel. Respectfully, he knew
No,
what he was doing.
yeah, let's agree.
But as much as I feel like people are coming for Big Lou, I think he acted like a real husband. I don't know if people kept saying, "Oh, but your husband is not sorry, your wife doesn't give you the pussy, she's always busy." And this, regardless, he acted how a husband ought to act. I would defend my wife in public. You cannot have two big grown men come at a pregnant. Because to be honest, as much as I feel like Tiffany needed to be called out, I said this last episode. Whilst the episode was filming, you could see that she was really having like some labored breaths and she was not really taking the whole encounter really well. Probably she had mastered what she was going to say to Martell, but then Marsau was in the scene and two of them were confronting her like a tag team, and she
Mm-hmm.
was not comfortable on that. So Lou was right because we do not know. As much as I feel like Tiffany was being very messy, what's to say if she loses this pregnancy while they're confronting her? They're like, "Oh, we're right in confronting her." Will people even listen to that? No.
And they wouldn't take accountability for it if something like that was, would have been the case. Thank God it didn't happen. But this is
Thank God.
something that I also questioned because they kept bringing up, well, she came in to talk about this. We didn't tag team her. Did y'all ever talk about what she came in to talk about, though? Because it seemed like off top, there was no real conversation about Selma, about the Grand Marshal, any of that. It was all straight on. So since I have you here, I talked to Sheree, and this is what she said. There was no real, like, hey, Sheree said this. It seemed uncomfortable, blase scoop, whatever the case is. Marsau should
She
have
was
excused
never coming
herself.
to talk about any Grand Marshal thing. She was never coming there to talk about that.
Mm-mm.
Productions just needed the storyline to get her there because they'll be like, why is she coming to meet Marsau? So it's obviously a fake storyline. But what production should have done, knowing as messy Tiffany was, because see the way she twisted the whole thing to Lou, as if she just came in and they started calling her Karen. She started backtracking, trying to do like a smooth landing. As I said, I have no problem with someone being messy because in every variety TV show, we need to have one person that is going to be messy. Let's stop acting like we don't need someone that needs to drive the plot. But she needed
Mm-hmm.
to have stood her ground. And every time she goes back, lying, pretending like she did not do what she did. I love the fact that Lou said he knew she was wrong because it's very obvious that she was wrong. But two guys tag teaming and like coming at her, not really, especially Marsau, because why here?
Yeah, there was just no reason for Marcel. There was no place setting for him. There was nothing. Martell, if you felt some type of way, honestly, bring that up in front of Big Lou while Tiffany is sitting there. Have that conversation like that. Big Lou should have been privy the entire time. There should have been no setup. Production shouldn't even have set that up, knowing how far along she was. And knowing that she's a woman, they shouldn't have wanted to set her in between two men and let them go at her back and forth, call her names, basically say she should be slapped and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
Like what is going on with production? Why are they allowing all of this abuse to happen towards women?
But they need a storyline regardless. And to be honest, let's not act like, see, as much as I want to blame productions for not stopping myself from being in that scene, in real life, let's be frank, we keep saying this is the right thing that needs to be done. They didn't need to have confronted Tisha, let's say Tisha, Tiffany. The point is, in real life, they still would have confronted Tiffany. As much as we keep saying, oh, this is the right thing that ought to have been done, this is this. In real life, people do not really process, oh, this is right, this is wrong. We react to actions of people, and most likely, definitely, real life, they would have confronted Tiffany. But it's still wrong. And Tiffany is still wrong because the way she described it to her husband, you would think they came at her with so much violence. I was like,
Right. Because I watched it again, and Martell was actually not like rah with her at all. I think Marsau was with the extras with the gas. You know,
Yeah.
Marsau did a lot, but Martell, he wasn't like abusive towards her. He asked her simple questions and she answered. And he seemed genuinely a little hurt, like bothered in his question asking.
it's bothered because that's the truth. So,
But
He's
she's
not.
she's
Yeah,
not
he's not
she's not the one,
expecting.
but she's
Yeah.
not the one to bring his truth to nobody. She's nobody.
No, but if anybody addresses the truth and it's brought up, then that's he's automatically going to defend himself and start taking the defensive route.
And then we
And
also
Marcel, yeah,
had to defend. He in that moment he was also defending Sheree.
right.
but
Sheree
Sheree can defend herself. See, this is the point. She had this conversation with Sheree. Sheree, like, you can see the woman's intuition. Sheree herself felt like she was
Hmm.
too pregnant to confront her. But the man did not feel like she was too pregnant to confront her.
and she didn't feel like she was too pregnant to get into no mess. If you
She
that
has not been
pregnant,
feeling that
sit
way.
back and chill out. She
But I
way too
also
pregnant
don't
to be
think.
all up in other people's business asking about their vaginas. And I think Sheree was just trying to keep it cute. And she didn't want to start no problems because we know Sheree can get it started. We watch
Yeah,
Atlanta Housewives. So I think it wasn't her event. It's not her show. She's not trying to, get everybody all riled up or get the attention on her. She's trying to keep it cute. It's a cute event. But this one over here coming at me because she know I'm not going to drag her because she's 8 months pregnant.
yeah. People back in the day, I'm telling you, they were like, "But your face ain't pregnant." Like, damn.
I think
And
that's what Kiki told her at one.
right, and that's when I heard Kiki say that, I said, you know what? I done heard a couple bitches get told that. No offense, my bad, but hey, when
Okay.
you run that mouth,
I
it don't
think,
matter how pregnant you are. If that
yeah.
mouth is steady going,
Yeah, I
you
think we riding the pregnancy. Oh, she's a pregnant woman train. I think we riding that train too hard. A pregnant woman might want to mind her business.
I think
But I will also say, I don't think Sheree went back and told Martell that with the intention of him going and confronting her with Marsau.
yeah.
No,
That,
absolutely not.
like, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't really too much blame Sheree for going back and saying anything to Martell, but I feel like Martell could have did a one-on-one with her if he felt like that, or with Big Lou and her. Marsau there was no reason for him there. That's the whole point.
No,
It
it was
could have
just
been addressed,
TV.
absolutely. Marsau had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it was just TV.
Am I the only one who actually thinks like Sheree had a delayed response because she wasn't expecting it?
Absolutely.
Well, I actually think it wasn't that Sheree thought she was pregnant.
Absolutely. You come up to me asking me about my pussy. I'm like,
Sheree was totally blindsided. She didn't expect it. And she did not know what to do after that. I think that's what it was. Because she actually looks like, oh, is this person talking to me about this? Like, that was the impression that I got. I think it's one of those things where you get into it with someone, you go back home, and then you're replaying the whole scene over and over again in your head, and you're like, wait, I could have said more. I think that's
Yeah, I don't think it hit her at first, because just like you said, I've been surprised you coming at me. First off, we don't know each other, and you come at me talking about my vagina. Hold on, Pep.
right.
What
It's
you
gonna take
even know for?
my thoughts.
But she should have expected it because productions were the one that made her go meet Tiffany.
But see, yeah, I'm different, because you come asking me about my vagina, I'm gonna be smart. Like, I'm smart and petty, and I'm be like, look, last time somebody asked me about that, they face ended up there. Is that what you're trying to do?
Ooh.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm just smart like that. Like, don't ask me no questions if you don't.
I'm quick with it. Don't
Like,
help me.
right? Don't ask me no question if you are not trying to get the response that I'm gonna give you. So yeah, but Sheree was definitely shocked, and yeah, I think everybody at the table was shocked when they found out what Tiffany said too.
Yep. And Mel's face definitely gave me like.
We've not gotten there. But let's look a little bit at the comments. French Life said, Tisha needs to talk about the rumors in her marriage instead of gossiping about Tiffany's rumors. Why would I want to talk about my husband cheating? Let's be honest. Marsau was speaking up Martell's slack and vice versa. And that's actually true. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Shari can speak for herself. That's exactly what I said. Shari can't defend herself. True. Shari can defend herself. Okay, final comments. Why would two asshole men go and address this woman? That's what those two are used to saying any and everything to women that they want to.
And that might be true.
And that might be true. Them two came together like butt cheeks just to try to be the shit. And it didn't work. It didn't work. I'm gonna tell you. Them two, they came in looked like they was holding hands outside. Like they just skipped up the driveway together. Like, them two just disgusted me.
But see, you guys are talking about that scene. I'm sorry.
I'm just talking about them in general.
The scene that got me mad, I don't know, Maurice.
Oh,
Maurice has been trying me on my last nerves at this point.
Yeah, I'm about to take 2 puffs of this, because this scene right here, Lord have mercy.
Because how would this woman be fighting cancer? And every single time you guys talking about sex, that should even be the last thing on your mind.
Well, in all fairness, Kimmi brought it up.
Because she's uncomfortable. See, before I would bring you are in a marriage or in a relationship, obviously she started feeling vibes or getting vibes from why do I keep calling Marsau? Anyways, they're the same.
There's so many
Maurice, that he's very uncomfortable with the fact that she's not giving him 3 times, because he said he wants 3 times a day sex in different positions. My point is, if you need 3 times a day sex to be comfortable, maybe I'm just not good at it. But let's not as I said,
plus my pearl.
She's already feeling the vibes from him that he's uncomfortable without the sex. And that's why she brought it up. Because even the first time she brought it up was because he was making her feel some type of way because her libido did not match him.
Right. And it seems as though, I don't know if he's really like taking into account like what she really is going through. because it doesn't really seem like too much has changed with her. She's still up cooking, cleaning, and taking care of him and Monster, and still trying to make sure to have sex with him as much as he wants to. What has really changed with him? It doesn't seem like he stepped up or try to, alleviate any stress from her really, except for when it comes to her doing stuff for or with other people.
Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised when she talked about still cooking and all of that. I'm just like, why? Like, are you saying you can't do it or get her help? Like, what is the like? She needs to be resting, recuperating. She doesn't need to be parenting your child, cleaning up, cooking all the time. You should be helping her. You should be doing all of those things, majority of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, he has this caveman mentality of like, women, remember, I don't know if you guys remember when Dr. Francis was saying that you're not entitled to her body in that way, and she's allowed to say no. And then he was saying, well, Dr. Francis gave him new perspective. I'm like, this is common sense, sir.
Right.
What is new about that? What perspective could possibly be new about the fact that she's entitled to say no? She can decide to say no. She can be tired. So I think she probably feels some type of way because she knows he said it all the time. For anyone who cares to listen, he wants it multiple times a day. So what happens now when she's unable to do that?
And so because radio and chemo makes you very tired.
Yeah. Besides, also, I'm sorry, but if you're losing your hair, if you're losing certain things that you feel makes part of what makes you attractive, you're not going to want to have sex. You probably don't even want to be naked in front of your man.
Right. And she said that, her hair made her, feel beautiful. And that, that is sad that a lot of times, we feel that our hair makes us who we are and makes us, beautiful when it's really not. It adds to our beauty, but you can be the most beautiful person, have the best hair, looks, and everything else, and still be just as ugly as a person that has none of that. But it really is saddening that she hasn't really been able to rest, not even just her body, but it's like her mind and her spirit really to be able to fight this properly because she has Maurice. And she's still having to do, like, I'm not saying all her duties as a wife are to end, but it doesn't seem like she's been able to slow down at all during this process. And it hurts me that she's still going through this and having to talk to him about not wanting to have sex still. Or doing it, like she said, she does it for him.
Not for her. It's giving Latrice and Cliff vibe.
And also, did you guys pick up on when she was saying that? And then he was like, "You're faking it."
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Oh my God! Why didn't you been married for how many years? You do not know when she's initiating sex. Jesus Christ!
Right. Before y'all got married, y'all was doing this thing, where y'all was doing it all the time. You don't know what her real orgasm sounds are. You don't know when she's, what I'm saying?
She's not good at it.
Also, did you pick up that he was like, oh, my thing is this, my problem is this. Even if she's faking it, you're telling me you have to ask her if she is finished. That's a problem. That means you're not paying attention.
Mm-mm.
You're not paying attention.
It's just having to sit in and it's like, done.
Oh, just no rhythm. Just
that really annoyed me, and I felt so bad for Kimmi. I was just like, seriously, like having to put up with your husband. Even in that, I would have expected him to be more sensitive to what she was trying to express in that moment. But instead, it just became so much more about sex and him being pleased when he should be comforting his wife, who in this moment, like, oh, I don't have the same libido that I used to have.
Like, do you try to do foreplay, try to get her in the mood before sex? Like, you know what I'm saying? At least try to run her a bubble bath or something. Give her a nice massage and, turn the lights down low. Try to, make sure that the week is going smoothly. if you're planning on doing something on Saturday night. Make sure Monday through Friday, everything's going smooth. She's relaxed, her mind and everything. She is just good. So come Saturday, when you know that you're trying to, do what you're doing, look here, baby. Don't worry about it. I got you tonight. Do it like that. Damn, do I got to give you a plate? Call me. I will give you the playbook on lovemaking if you need. Matter of fact, I'll start a class. You guys can come pay for my class, okay? Marsau, you too, because you look like you don't know what you're doing either.
I mean,
Since they like to call sex operators or the sex therapists.
With the way Marsau's women are all quiet, he must be at least better than Maurice.
Probably so, but I think that's also NDA.
I think he chooses women who have something to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I chooses
in that case, he's very
married
smart.
women or women in relationships, in my opinion, and allegedly, please.
Right.
But I think that's what he does.
And you're right, Nita. He's smart. He's smart. He know what you're doing.
He's
Exactly.
smart.
You can't see someone like Arionne and expect her not to sing. I'm just saying.
Right.
Arionne has nothing to lose.
Mm-mm. Besides her self-worth.
I actually agree with
Does she have it?
I think it's a genuine fear. I actually think she's scared that he will use it as an excuse to cheat. I honestly think that is where it is all coming
Definitely.
from.
Honestly, I'm with you. I'm with you right there. That's the feeling that I got the whole time that I watched that scene is perhaps she's trying to get in front of a story just in case something comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's letting us know. And I obviously that it was also awareness involved, breast cancer awareness and the complications that come with it, because she had that whole sit down with her friend afterwards, which I thought was like, oh my gosh, I'm bored. But I felt like she was trying to get in front of a story just in case something came out. I thought she's definitely worried about that. And and the other side of that, I know you guys were talking about, oh, she's still cleaning the house and she's still cooking and blah blah blah. Kimmi kind of strikes me as the one that wants to she doesn't want to seem like she can't do something. I'm very sure that she is still not doing what she can't do, but she doesn't strike me as the type that's just going to put everything to the side and just let somebody take care of her. She's still going to do what she has to do. I don't know if you guys remember, but she raised a whole boy by herself for 18 years. So
handsome child.
So she knows how to get up and do things for herself because ain't nobody else there to do it. It's just, I think it's just embedded in her that I still got stuff to do.
Well, see, and that's the thing is, like you said, she's doing it because she feels there's no one else who's going to do it. I feel like if she really had someone or she felt that her partner would really be able to take care of her or help her out, with things that she's, needing, she would step back a bit. But she doesn't have that. So she has no choice but to do what she has to do.
100%.
I mean, he calls cleaning something important to her.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel like when you're with someone who is not able to step in and take over, you will be constantly thinking, okay, I need to get this done because he's not going to do it. And I think that's where she's at, because she knows he's not going to do it. Monster can't even clean his room. He's not going to help. He can't even tell the boy to do his chores. So he's not going to do it either. So of course she has to do it because she has no help.
Yeah. That's how I feel about that too.
Yeah. So before we go on, I want to read this comment. I just can't believe the men in Huntsville, not all, but the men on the show, except for a few of the good ones. I really can't call them men, especially Hotel and Marsau or my kid's dad. Your kid's dad?
Elizabeth, is your kid's daddy from Huntsville? Let us
right. Let us know.
Let us know where your kid's daddy from.
It's just a Huntsville thing.
Right.
But I have to say, Tiffany actually looked gorgeous.
She's gorgeous.
She looked gorgeous. I know people keep saying that she's old in the face, but she looks gorgeous. Pregnancy, really, really fits her. But now let's get on to the
The
conversation.
baby shower.
Oh, yeah. Mel's face was priceless.
So
I tell you, I just love Mel so
Mel
much.
walked into this lady speaking about Tiffany, talking to Sheree, and they start talking about that. And then Tisha obviously asked Mel, would you be uncomfortable? And she's like, no, I'm not going to be uncomfortable. And then Nell asked, oh, did you hear what Tiffany told to Sheree? Obviously, she did not hear. What kind of dumbass question was that? And then Tisha started continuing. And Mel was like, nah, I need to leave this conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if my friend is uncomfortable, you would obviously know a conversation that would make your friend uncomfortable. Let's not
Right.
act dumb. Before I start a conversation, I would know my friend will be uncomfortable. One, they're having a conversation about the celebrant. Sorry, about the celebrant. Two, someone who you obviously knows do not want to listen or hear anything about our ex comes in, and then you're like, oh, are you going to be uncomfortable? Obviously, she doesn't know what you guys are talking about. But you guys felt like it was safe to continue the conversation. Why?
Because making Mel uncomfortable was the goal. Like, in some way, like, I understand. Well, I'm not even going to say making Mel uncomfortable. I'm going to say, the gossip was more important than Mel's feelings. What was going on with Tiffany and what she said was more important than really if Mel was okay with what was being said or not.
Yeah, it's got to be more important right now because we're making TV.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not concerned with how Mel feels. How do we know how Mel feels? I thought Mel moved on. She don't care.
I
And
thought
that's
that's what
why
she
I
said.
would not also participate in such a conversation, because I'm like, why do you want me to? Because obviously they wanted her to speak on it. And trust me, if she had spoken on it, everybody would have wrote on that, like, oh my God, did you hear what she said about Sheree? And
Yep.
then it will become a whole different topic
They
entirely.
were trying
Yep.
to bait her. They were trying. That was the whole point. And I think it was good that she did not fall for that. Because I think anything she said, or if she did say something, if she decided to say something, they would have taken that and turned it into the storyline for the next couple of episodes. So,
Oh, yeah.
so even if me and my ex-husband broke up, I would feel uncomfortable hearing someone talking about whether another woman's vagina is better, or
Right.
that's a very uncomfortable conversation. It's the same way I wouldn't want anyone speaking on my vagina. I don't want to hear it.
And that's just the same as like, okay, well, why couldn't it have been thrown out? Well, did you hear that Tiffany asked him if he was still in love with you? Or did you hear that Tiffany said that, he's a known cheater? How does it feel? No, the first thing that comes out is, her vagina being better and good enough to keep him. Like, I feel like that was also a dig
Yep.
at the fact that, it was said that Mel wasn't doing what she needed to do.
100%.
So of all the comments, like, that's the one that y'all chose to ride with.
I think that because that's the one that they was on
that
when
was
she
very
walked
trashy.
the table.
Yeah, that's the one that they was talking about. But Latisha had already spoken about. Well, Marsau said that she asked him, "What is how is it to be a known cheater?" And the whole P conversation. So when Mel came to the table, Nell, why did you have to throw out the fact that the main comment was if her vagina was better?
Can we talk about Nell? Because Miss Nell is like excessive. Like
that
she,
hair,
I feel we're
the
not there yet.
extensions.
Oh,
I
let's
think
do
probably the
that.
extensions on her hair is covering her brain, because that was dumb as hell.
Yeah.
Miss
Now
Nell
I normally
trying
ride for you, but
hard.
that one was too much, Miss Nell. That was too much.
Miss Nell is trying way too hard. She want her
Yeah.
spot on the show for her and her husband. That's what she going for.
But what's the storyline? If you want your spot on the show, I'm sorry, I'm not going to have another Stormi. Stormi
Mm-mm.
promised us Evan else as a storyline, and then she came in and made Mel a storyline. So show us something about your marriage. Talk about your previous infidelity. I mean, her husband actually cheated on her previously, and he has cheated multiple times on her. Talk about that. At least it will give us something to talk about. But if you're going to make other people's marriages, I don't care whether it's Tisha's marriage, Stormi's marriage, I don't care whose marriage. I do not want any other person to make someone else's marriage their storyline. It's tiresome.
Right. Like, I just don't understand what the point of Nell speaking up or saying anything about it, especially if, Melody's supposed to be your friend. And
you are like the only one that's her real friend, because the rest of us, we get into it with her every season and we ain't really friends. So that's why we talked about this to begin with.
So, yeah, Miss Nell, I feel like you was messy. You came as messy as Latisha and Stormi.
Am I weird? But I don't think Nell and Mel are friends. I think that
really
Nell, I think Nell and Mel and Chris and Martell were all a friend group, i.e., friends. Okay, and then when the divorce happened, I think that I don't personally get the impression that Nell and Mel are friends. I think it was just a relationship. It's almost like our husbands are friends. Okay, sort of. We hung out whilst we're around them. I don't think they're actually friends. They are cordial, but I don't think they're friends.
So I would only debate you on that because one of these 9 episodes, I don't even remember which one, Mel had a sit down with Miss Nell, and that was, I felt like, the only time we got something real from Mel. I'm sorry, I'm not a Melometer or whatever they called, not here for it, but that was the only time we got something real from Mel that I felt, when Mel said to Miss Nell, I don't get to see my kids every day. Like, and I felt like, whoa, now we get to see the real her, and she's opening up to her friend, because she's not going to have that conversation with Kimmi. She's not going to have that conversation with Tasha. What's her name? Tisha. Yeah, she's not having those types of conversations. So I think that they're actually friends. Maybe something recently and they just fell off. But for us to get that realness for a vulnerable conversation out of Mel, it had to only be with somebody that was actually her friend.
I don't think they fall off.
I disagree. I disagree.
I don't disagree. I'm sorry. Because Mel has been going to our events, even outside the shooting. I've seen like multiple pictures between Mel and Niall, whatever, Neil or Niall, I don't know how to pronounce her name or whatever. But they are actually friends. Mel, if I'm going to say who Mel is closer to in everybody in the show, I'm actually going to pick Nell and Chris Fletcher. There are people that would say that they are friends, because Mel and Chris are actually business partners. So, so that was why everybody was like, I was taken aback in that scene. I was like, why?
By Miss Nell. Drama.
It wasn't even drama. It doesn't even need to be my friend. Once I see someone is uncomfortable with the conversation, or once I know my conversation is going to make somebody uncomfortable, I stop. It's just like when I'm gossiping about something and I know the person involved is coming in. What is the right what's the next action? You shut up. So I was surprised that they continued the conversation and they asked for our opinion. That was very shitty to do, because I'm like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah. Can I just speak to the friend comment quickly? The reason I disagree with that is I disagree with the fact that I don't think they are actually friends. Do I think they're cordial and acquaintances? Yes. I don't think they're friends. And I'll say that scene that you're talking about, where it looks like Mel was actually opening up, if you remember, it started off with Nell actually saying, we had to sit down with Martell. And this is what Martell said. And then Melody had to respond. If you know, Melody is a responder. If someone speaks on something that she's involved in, she will respond. And so she responded and shared what she had to say with Nell. But I don't get the impression. I think it was just something where it's like, you guys, you're telling me what Martell is saying. This man is still dogging me out. He's still saying all of these things. And then you're coming to me, and it's almost like because the way Nell initially came at her, it was almost like she actually believed what Martell said. And it was like she was responding. So I don't think it's a friendship thing. I think it's I'm defending myself. I'm saying I'm defending myself. I'm responding to something that has been said, as opposed to that.
Well,
I don't know about that because I feel that.
I don't agree with that because
Yeah.
I've noticed something with reality TV. People, this is why they say reality TV ruin friendship. Because everybody wants to have a moment. Outside the TV show, they are cordial, they are friends. But once the camera starts rolling, they're like, oh my God, I need to have a moment. I need to have 1 minute where everybody are like, oh, now I really brought something to the show. Now I really got to Mel. Now I really did. Like, that was what that scene gave me. Because that was very not now. We've seen her in several other things, and we've not seen her being this like messy. Yes, she has driven some conversations, she has asked some conversations, but this is the first time that she was blatant. I mean, we've seen this woman in previous other seasons, but the first minute she became a friend of the show, she started asking so many unnecessary questions.
And also, you got to think of the scene with.
So around the conversation, Sosie said, with now they talked about how her and Martell depended on them for advice. I think she was someone she trusted. And that's so I just think she's looking for a moment so that probably like if this was Real Housewives, she was looking for a peach. So she stepped out of the real now so that people would be like, oh, she's messy. She can really draft conversations. She can really like. So that's the vibe I got. They may not be friends, but I think that they're genuinely friends because they follow each other everywhere. They're in so many events together. This is even quite different from Stormi. Like, how many times did I see her and Stormi in the same place? I can actually count on my hands. But now they're in the same event. She's going to her house. She's visiting off camera. So.
Yeah, and also with the conversation with Nell and Mel when Melody was saying how she has she doesn't get to see her kids, and the conversation that Nell had with Martell, you got to think Nell thought she was going to dinner with her husband. Chris sprung it up that Martell was coming to the dinner. She had no knowledge of that. And when Martell was talking about how Mel has these 20 babysitters, Nell was like, nah, that doesn't sound right. Like, she was actually letting him know, like, no, that doesn't sound right. I don't believe you. And then she went and told Melody what Martell said. She said what she said to him. So I don't know. I feel like if they were friends or if they were associates, at some point I feel like they have been friends. If they're not now, it could be because something has happened that we haven't seen. But I feel that they have a close relationship. Their relationship is closer than anyone's on the show.
Agreed.
No, we'll just not call them friends. We'll say that they're close.
I think that's a good word.
Yeah.
At least closer than the rest of the cast, definitely, but not friends, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Reviews, you really do not want to accept that
you
they're
know
friends.
What, you know what it is? I think the way I think about friends is different. You're not going to come on the show and then continue to perpetrate a conversation that I will be uncomfortable with. That's just not something my friend would do. So
and you wouldn't be the one to come and ask me that bull stuff.
Exactly. Period. So.
Yeah, it threw me for that to come from Nell. I was definitely thrown off. But yeah.
Oh, so, do you think that there are any friends on this show?
No. No.
Literally, I typed that first before I could say that. Like, no, nobody's friends. No.
Nobody's friends.
It's all about the back.
Right.
Hey, I was trying to even think like, dang, maybe the kids are no.
The kids are actually friends.
I don't even think they're really friends because the parents aren't allowing them to, you know what I'm saying, be friendly like that. I feel like it would still be a rift. Like genuine kids like to be friends with each other, they do. But parents and adults, they can cause drama for kids that they don't even understand.
Yeah, no, I don't think that we're friends. I think we've gotten so far from that since the debut season. And now it's just all about making good TV. We got to keep this
Mhm.
show on. We got to keep the money in the bag. And so let's make good TV.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And so this episode was good to me.
Listen, let me tell you, I love the whole Mel gave it. And what I really liked is when she got up, she's like, nope, so I'm gonna go make my plate. Like, yes, Mel.
Seriously, if Mel doesn't do anything on this show, she would eat.
She will make
Hmm.
a play.
She definitely will, with no problems. And God bless you on your journey. I said, ooh,
But succeed. The difference between RHOA and LAMH is that LAMH fans do not understand that it's for entertainment purpose only.
Mm.
People legit went to Niles now, whatever I call her. Now, I'm sorry,
Now,
she's not yet 16.
Mel,
Now,
right?
is it now?
there
Right.
maybe.
Mel.
Now, okay. People went to Nell's comments and they were like, I went to the comments like, damn, are you taking this show so seriously? Because to me, I feel if you have to go to someone's DM to bash, if you have to go to someone's comment section to bash, you're already becoming psychotic. That's just
It's not that
I
deep.
I watch a lot of writing
Yeah,
TV shows. The best way to not make yourself seem stupid is stop going to these people's pages. If you are so mad at this person, block the person. Like, don't disrupt your mental health for others. So, RHOA fans, they want these ladies to bash each other.
Mm-hmm.
LAMH, they're looking for some imaginary
Kumbaya.
friendships that would never happen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, that's because they came in with the deception of black excellence.
Black
That's
excellence is
what
not
this
good for
show was
TV.
supposed to portray. It's
Black
not
excellence is
giving
not
that.
good TV.
It's
Because I hate
that's
when
what they
people keep
tried.
saying, I hate when people
And
keep
whose fault is
saying,
that? And whose fault is that? Because I think that's your girl fault. I think that's your girl fault. Because she started with you should have kept your penis in your pants. That was your girl. She started
that's
that.
not what actually brought the show and made the show interesting. Please, I'm telling you, if the show was Black Excellence, it wouldn't have gotten to third season. The show
Mm-mm.
rode the cocktails of Martell's infidelity. And I want fans to be honest. As much as we want to see
Yeah,
some business aspects of the show, let's be honest that the mess keeps it going.
Yeah, a little bit of drama is necessary.
absolutely. If it was not for Melody opening up about the whole infidelity and that whole problem, we would not. It would not be as far. It wouldn't.
Mhm. So I want people to
Because
be honest for once.
100%. And I'm just saying, since that has happened, what else can we actually remember that's happened on the show? It just feels like
Nothing.
no one else has like a very captivating or capturing storyline. And I think that's the problem. It's like the
Hmm.
couples need to pull their weight, but then they're not going to pull their weight because they're not going to be truthful about what's going on in their marital life and their personal life. So they
I
just
don't
need
even need them to bring any infidelity because I feel like at this point it's almost like the only thing happening in Huntsville is infidelity.
infidelity.
But what we need them to actually bring is the reality of their lives. If
Simple.
not for social
Hmm.
media, we would not know that Latisha and Marsau, they've had how many lawsuits? Is this not the third one?
Mm, mm, mm,
Yeah,
Within the
yeah.
span of 1 year.
mm,
Nobody would have known that
mm.
Stormi is battling the health service. Nobody will know that she has a 1.7 million lawsuit. Nobody will know that she has a $90,000 lawsuit because it never makes it to the show.
Mhm, mhm.
Right. Social media is becoming the show. Like that's where all the real action happens. Is social media.
And that's why the show is losing viewers.
Yep.
And
Because
that's why the producers are wanting to be YouTube bloggers.
exactly. Because what we're seeing on the show is different from what's happening in reality. And so no one wants to watch a reality TV show that is not reality.
Did you see Succeed's comments? They won't talk about Tiffany's business, and it's really interesting. Honestly, because Tiffany looks like she's well made,
She's about her money,
comfortable,
honey.
like she's making bank. And from what blue is big.
Well, her story all its own, her not knowing her parents, being put up for adoption because she was biracial. That right there is a nice story of its own. Let's follow that. Let's go ahead and see how you got from being this orphan
They're not
child to
interested.
you're making bank. You're making this money. I'm pretty sure everybody else has at least some type of a legit story that can be told to make it where their lives actually look like it's. Why does she look like she was playing in her makeup? What?
All right, I'm
But
let me
guys,
see better.
Wait a second.
Tiffany
I
looks
had to kind of look like,
Why
wait a
do I
second,
keep
was that
calling
Stormi?
Tiffany? Why do I keep calling Tisha Tiffany and Tiffany Tisha?
Girl,
Tisha
they
looks
need to stop
gorgeous.
with all this like names like Tisha, Tiffany, Marsau, Maurice. Some like come up with different names now. It's I don't know the MMM, the TTT. It's
It's
annoying.
really stressing me because
It
everybody has
does.
the same letter. But I noticed a little bit of production. And that the reason why I'm not really going to come hard at Tisha and now for the whole talking about Sheree, because it's obvious that they said that because productions put them up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could see the way that Tisha laughed. I said it. Like,
Yeah, and how she
Productions,
said when they was
I
like
like
trying to
it.
ask her questions, and she was like, "I don't
She
remember."
was really holding that laughter in. So it was very obvious. I'm like,
Yeah, like why? How can't you remember the gossip? Like they're trying to grill you and get the details, and you can't remember. Girl, Latisha, you love to spill the tea. You love to give up the goods. If it was something real juicy like that, you definitely know all the details. So yeah, sounds like somebody was rehearsing with her before.
yeah, it was very obvious. That's why I'm like, as much as I felt that scene was unnecessary, productions played their hands. But now let's talk about Stormi, bringing up that fan comment.
Stormi, you're the fan.
Stormi trying to get it started. And
She was
I'm not
trying to
mad
talk
at
it
her
off.
because Stormi is gonna hold her own. So if she gonna get it started, she gonna finish it too.
Now, Stormi doesn't hold her own. I'm sorry. Every other person can hold their own, but not Stormi. She would run to social media crying mental health.
Okay, so I don't know that.
Yep. She is forever on the internet. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, like seriously, sis. No.
Let me tell you, she be crying them Kleenex tears quick.
All the time. It's like she wants sympathy from everyone. It's like you do something and stand in it. I did what I did, and that's why, like, say what you want, but people love Nene because she's like, I said what I said, and that's that, right? But like for me, it's like 1 minute you want to be the mean girl, then the next minute you want to be on the internet crying, and then you want sympathy from the rest of us. Oh, your mental health is suffering, and like it's hard to feel bad for her, honestly.
Yeah. Don't throw rocks and hide your hands. Like if you gonna stand on it, stand on it. And then you keep doing the same stuff. It's like every time you come for somebody and they actually pull your card, you crying how they trying to harass you and how you're being bullied and how somebody's just it's the woe is me thing. Nah, Stormi. Nah, bruh. We're not buying it.
But I think it was necessary to have come up. Like I said, this entire conversation, productions played their hands, but that conversation needed to come up because if Mel had not answered her, don't come for me. Stormi and Tiffany would have run with the Mel is a fan and they would have gotten unnecessary bashing throughout the entire season.
Yeah.
You know, the fans don't play.
Honestly,
so if this had not gotten cleared up, they would have gotten bashed so much.
Yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't have brought it up, bring it up, but it's like it just seems the comment itself is just so unnecessary. But you're right, it would have been ran with had Mel not answered it.
Yeah, I
If
think
Mel would have ran away from it, they would have been talking about how she couldn't answer because she really was a fan, and you know that would have been the whole next thing for like the next 3 or 4 episodes.
I think Stormi's intention in bringing that up was to set up Tiffany, like Tiffany was gossiping too, because we look at it as if, oh, Tiffany had Mel's back. That's why she was asking Sheree those questions. But then Tiffany also inserted her own little shade, calling Mel a fan. And I think that's what Stormi was trying to highlight.
But was that necessary?
To be honest, I don't even think that's what it was. I think she was just trying to start something, and that's fine because it's a reality TV show. Like, I have no issues with her asking the question. If anything, I think she was trying to. It's almost like the way it's said. Oh, you're a fan. You drove hours to the event. You know, either way, it's a question that would have come up at some point. I'm glad it came up now, so Mel could address it and let it be done. Yeah, and to be honest, it's a reality TV show. Someone needed to ask, so I actually have no issues with Stormi asking.
Just saying.
Ask your questions.
On Anthony Loftus' live last night, it came out that allegedly Tiffany's new baby almost got taken by CPS because she'd been popping pills. Lou's mom had to come live with them so they can get the baby.
Wait, because she's been doing what?
I didn't say anything.
What?
I don't know about this.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Wow. Yeah, I haven't heard that.
Never heard of this. That's weird. Yeah, and this is the problem. I hear some people keep saying Sheree did not say this, Sheree did not say this. Saying and implying is the same thing.
Period.
Because anybody can draw their conclusions, and she wanted them to draw it because why were you being so vague? She came to my book signing. Everybody knows how book signing goes. What sort of long line to get that signature? Come on.
And I'm pretty sure that book signing, if that was in the same, if it was like a convention and Mel was already doing a speaking engagement in the same building or whatever the case was, I'm pretty sure you would have known that as well. So to just make it like, oh, she came to my book signing. No, there was more to it. Mel had an engagement, a speaking engagement, and she happened to see you. She didn't come there for you, as was implied. Because that's what it was trying to make seem like, is she purposely drove all that way with the specific intentions of seeing Sheree and getting her book signed.
Like, seriously.
And that was not it at all. We know that's not what really happened.
Yeah.
So it was good that Mel spoke on it and was able to address it. I mean, I'm just glad that there was no extra teeth sucking and neck rolling from Stormi when delivering it. It was just, and honestly, Nita, I'm actually going to agree with you because I do kind of feel that maybe it was a setup for them to say, well, Tiffany said this. Tiffany also was saying this. You know what I'm saying? I kind of felt that too, that it was, because they was already talking about what Tiffany had said to Sheree. So let's just go ahead and get it all about everything Tiffany said.
Say everything she said, right.
But now, since we've gotten our heads out, Martell comes in with more Martell looking like some refugees, like the entire outfit was a no.
Baby shower.
Oh my god, it looked like he was going to beg for food. Why did he wear a shirt that was like a V-neck? It was horrible. I'm not like coming. I may have my biases against Martell, but the entire fit Was
It
not.
was a no from me.
They looked like they was about to go steal ATMs.
It looked aged so badly. They kept saying Tiffany said that she
Martell was gonna keep
specifically
them
asked Shari
walkie-talkies
to do.
on
I don't
deck.
think she's a fan. Shari brought up the picture. That was it.
Yeah,
But
no, they
now,
looked like they was up to no good before they came.
so let's talk about this Big Lou Martell. Why was Marsau there? Why was Maurice there?
Back up.
Maurice comes out saying, "Oh, I can hear the voices. It's
Mhm.
raised. Let me go and make sure they don't fight."
Only to go
What?
there to stir the pot.
Same thing. And if you didn't see when Big Lou came to Martell and wanted to talk to him, he's like, Marceau, come on, let's go out here and talk to him about Tiffany. Why do you keep having to bring Marceau into this? But Marceau was still standing out there with his thong lace panties on, still in the middle of it. But Big
Well, he
Lou, hold
needed
on.
he needed to answer to Lou, because if anybody made Tiffany feel the most uncomfortable, it was Marsau. So he
That's
needed to
right.
be there for Lou to handle that. Although I feel like they kind of sunned Big Lou in a way. How you
They
gonna
did.
ask me, am I capable of handling my wife if I would have just came to you? They
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know, I can do it. Yo, are you gonna check these or what? Like, cause what you talking about?
And that's the
Yeah,
thing.
Right.
I felt like
But
Big Lou should
seriously,
have done a whole lot. Like he started off right, but he fell off, in my opinion. Because
Yeah.
one,
Marsau was the one who derailed that conversation,
he
and I
sure
need that to
did.
be said.
He sure did.
Lou and Martell were having a normal conversation talking about it. But Martell was acting like some chair girl, like someone who has never been in front of a TV. It was really pissing me off, acting like a bed and making some unnecessary noise. Like, dude, why I used to be giggling like as if it was on coke. It was so unnecessary. Like the whole thing it was doing that. They're standing as if he had a leg in the whole thing. It was really irritating because they're trying to have a match-up conversation and you're acting like
And my thing, Big Lou, honey, listen, at the end of the day, I understand you might be married to Tiffany. This is no shade. But, honey, you are a black man in America. I know you know what the hell a Karen is. This
but
is
yeah,
2023.
he was just
see,
trying to
you
ride
know
her
what? I
coattail. Is
have
it
an
because I'm
opposite
half
opinion
white?
about this Karen's conversation. I have an opposite opinion. And it was very obvious, as Sophie said, that this scene was cut. It was
Yes.
very obvious. Especially when Maurice comes in and starts speaking, there was a big, like, there was a disconnect between the conversation because they kept adding, they kept removing some important parts of the conversation. But I'm sorry, that Karen conversation, I don't know if I'm of the opposite of opinion. Sorry. I hate the fact that every single time, as much as I feel like Tiffany was wrong, people like to draw the Karen name and attach it to women. We rarely see this done for men. And people may say that, oh, I'm defending her. But it's become so obvious that every single time a woman acts irrationally, then they call her a Karen. But when a man does
Mhm.
that, because that's exactly what Marsau was doing, nobody called him a Karen because he was acting like one. If we're going to go with Marsau's definition of what a Karen was, he was
He's
a
a can.
proper
Well,
male
he's a
Karen.
Ken. Yeah. You know, they
So
call
granted that
Kens.
nobody really, like I know, but you rarely see them
Yeah.
calling them Kens. But
Right.
just a little bit of what a woman does, they're like, oh, she's a Karen, she's a Karen, she's a Karen, and they throw that word out. And we need to look at the fact from Tiffany's side. Tiffany is half white. She's mixed, she's not black. She's half
Mm-hmm.
white. So now if you let's just look at it. Who are the people they really call Karens?
White women.
Amen.
So she will feel some type of way, obviously being called a Karen. So as much as I know that my opinion is quite unpopular, but I try to see it from all sides.
Mm-hmm.
Marsau did not have a bone in the entire game. He needed to have shut his mouth. Nobody needed to hear his opinion. Nobody needed to hear him call this girl Karen. And he definitely did not need to be in this conversation at all. And that's why when Big Lou told him that, oh, so if I have a problem with your wife, I'm going to go to her and speak to her. He knew at that point that what he did was wrong. That's why I was like, why will you go to my wife? Why will you go to my wife? Because honestly, why?
Yeah.
Well, he knew he was wrong at the table when he was talking to her. That's why after it was all said and done, he was like, we should have been talking to Luke.
Yeah,
he
you're right.
knew he was wrong. I don't think that's a question.
No, the fact that he knew it was wrong, they should have started off with Big Lou. We apologize. We shouldn't have come at your wife like that. Now, your wife is wrong, and we stand by what we said, but we shouldn't have come at her. We should have addressed it to you. That's people who take accountability. But Marsau and Martell do not take accountability for anything. They will divert. They will try to change the subject. They will turn. Like, I kept thinking, Martell couldn't even accept that they shouldn't have done that. He didn't even see anything wrong with that at all.
Right.
And
He was like, I don't have to go to you. Like,
and I thought, seriously, sir, this is your problem. You don't know how to approach women. And we've seen it on the show multiple times. We've seen you get aggressive with women. That's just the reality. You don't know how to approach women. And so the fact that you see nothing wrong, two things can be right. Tiffany can be wrong, and you can be wrong as well. And so,
and Lou said that. He said, you have a point, but were you right?
Right.
And then he said, yes. I was like, what?
Right. But that's a good question. Like, no, you wasn't. Okay, just because you feel like you have a point, you were still not correct in your approach. You still could have felt some type of way about what Sheree said and came to Big Lou as a man and let him know what his wife had said. And also, when it comes to Marsau, do y'all remember in the very beginning of the episode when Marsau was telling Latisha what Tiffany said? And Tisha made a comment and said that Tiffany feels that she can get away with saying things because she's pretty.
I think she tried to keep it safe because that's not what she meant. I think she just doesn't want to go off she doesn't want to go on the whole colorism thing. And I think that's really where she wanted to go with it, but she keeping it safe and call it pretty because, I mean, we may not have to like Tisha, but she's a very beautiful woman. Right. So that's not what it was. It was the colorism thing, and she just wanted to keep it cute and didn't want to go that far, didn't want to make the conversation that deep.
But if you think about it, though, with what Tisha said, that could be said the same for her, because the way that she acts and she feels like she can get away with certain things because, we could say it could be because she doesn't feel so good about herself. So she's going to give you that mean girl attitude. It doesn't make it right. And I'm not taking that for, Tiffany at all, because Tiffany definitely, her approach was off, but it still doesn't give them the right to tag team her the way that they did, nor basically come for her color. I feel like that was a shade. That was definitely a shade on her.
I completely agree. I think I personally feel like there's been different things that have happened on the show and you're telling me you've never called anyone Karen, but the first time you're going to use Karen is on this woman who's half white. Seriously, what you were doing.
As many things as y'all said about Mel, and as many things y'all said she feels entitled, and this, that, and the third. Nobody's ever called her a Karen.
Exactly, but all of a sudden you're calling this woman who's half white a Karen. You know exactly what you were doing, right?
And it basically was mentioned twice, because if you take Tisha saying that she gets away with it because she's pretty, when really, she's maybe talking about her color, that's saying it twice in one episode.
Yep. 100%. Also,
so what are y'all trying to say?
Also, did you guys pick up that initially Big Lou was upset and whatnot, and then later on he calms down, and it almost seemed like Marsau was still going for him, and Tiffany, and basically like saying like, oh, so are you going to be able to address her or something along those lines, right? So he kept going on about that and said Tiffany owes the world, the human race, an apology.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me tell you, Louis, This man does not rate you. He has no respect for you and no respect for your wife. Who says that?
Mm-hmm. And you're still calling these people, well, if you guys are my friends, like I say, these aren't your friends either, Big Lou. These
Friends.
are not your friends. Y'all are using that term friend too loosely.
Yeah.
Nobody on this show are friends besides maybe the Scotts. And they're probably friends with Martell because hell, they all are snakes. They slither in the same grass. So yeah, they're friends. Big Lou, I wouldn't want to be attached to him like that. I
Yeah.
feel like he has way too much character to be in their friend group.
100%. I personally feel like the friendship bar must be in hell for these people because there is no way I'm going to call these men who have come at my wife my friends. Like they had no respect for me. They should have called me straight up immediately after that call to apologize.
Mm-hmm. And look, this comment says, why do these men disrespect this man's wife or get to disrespect this man's wife and still be able to get hugs from the
Well,
husband?
that's his fault. That's his fault.
Right. And
If
what you
he
said,
felt
they
like
sunned him.
he respected his wife,
They definitely sunned Big Lou. Big Lou became little baby. You know what I'm saying? Like he was
that's
a
his,
son. Them was his uncles right there.
right. That's what he got sunned from the top of the conversation. Ugh,
No, there's no way that you're gonna come from my spouse and then you could have possibly triggered some type of, anxiety, some type of effect that could have, trickled down to my child.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all are not about to gang up on her as men, not come and talk to me, and then when you talk to me, you gonna treat me as if you was talking to her. Wait a
Yep.
minute.
And the truth is, he was son from day one when he joined the show. Let's be honest. If we think back to the start, even at the reunion, the way they dragged him and Tiffany, they were sunned all the way from the start. So I'm not surprised this happened. The other thing is, remember I said, was it the last episode when we were covering that? I said, it seems that they've edited out the bit about something about Martell saying, I think, no, it was Marsau actually, about something that could get her slapped. And it looks like he said that in front of all of these people, but somehow it's completely removed.
Right.
So that's
and there's no mention of it.
there is
No
no
one's spoken
mention.
about it.
This is the thing. If I think in their previews of what's coming up, production tries to sell us this huge, oh, this is what was said. And then on the episode itself, they completely edit it out. Like that is actually playing in our faces.
Right. Well, at first I was like, well, are they trying to save it for something else? Or because, they started giving us like these digital exclusives and it's like, damn, that was better than what the hell the whole episode was.
Yeah.
Like, are y'all trying to save the good stuff for social media or, for your, because it's not making sense. And then when we're seeing the scenes, we can tell that they're cut, clipped, and, it's not making sense. The stories aren't going together. The conversations we're not being able to follow correctly because they're not starting and stopping in the correct place or whatever. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, I think
I
they're just
feel like better storyline.
There was a lot of outrage about that particular episode or that particular conversation. I think they're trying to clean it up by editing it out of the final cut.
Right.
All right, ladies, I'm gonna have to jump off.
Yeah, it looks like StreamYard is kind of, going out of whack right now. Looks like the doctor's having some problems. But yeah, okay, so I guess let's go ahead and talk about this last one with Stormi and Tiffany. So what do y'all think happened? Do y'all think this was around the time that she probably went into labor, or this was probably a little bit after, right?
I don't know, but I'm gonna give my 2 cents before I jump off. Because this right here was her Karen moment for me. I'm like, you got this mess started between your husband and these men. They outside. They about to throw hands with each other. And now it's, oh my God, I don't feel good. I don't know. Maybe she going into labor and maybe she not. I ain't buying it. But yeah, I was like, yeah, there goes your Karen moment right there, girl. There it is.
Yeah. That face that she made when she was standing looking, like when they showed a glimpse of her face while she was peering outside to see what they were doing. I was like, she is finding too much enjoyment in seeing them arguing right now. She was just like way too happy to see it going on. But I think she heard and realized that they was, you know, basically son and her husband. And she was like, oh no, I have to take the attention off of him and that. And here we go. Here we go with my and one and two and
there it was. That's what it was. Anywho, ladies,
You know what?
I'm gonna jump
Wedding
off.
was
I will see you guys
actually
next
real.
week.
That's
all right.
exactly
You have a blessed one, Nita.
see you later, Nina. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm a bit like I'm one of those
Wedding
people.
was real. I
Exactly,
get
because
that people are bashing her because of how she has acted so far. And I guess that's the problem with when you are so messy. You sort of lose the goodwill of people. She has lost
Yeah.
it. And so people feel like every of her actions are fake. But what if she was not lying?
That's
Right? She could have been going into labor, but it's just like that boy who cried wolf. After you do something so many times, like you said, you start losing sympathy, and people start saying like, okay, well, what was the intentions? Because you were just fine this moment, then the next moment, which anybody who's been pregnant, listen, I have kids, so I know we can feel okay one minute and the next minute just completely feel out of it. And it could have been overwhelming to her. All them people in her house, she could have got real hot. Like her nerves could have got up because she's seen 3 men going after her husband. It could have made her feel some type of way. There's a lot that could have factored into it. I just feel like could have been some timing. It with how this whole scene was kind of rehearsed, I'm just not sure anymore.
I don't think it was. I don't think so. Because
You think,
everybody was
I think it was heavily edited, but I don't think it was rehearsed.
yeah,
Heavily
it's
edited.
heavily edited because at first there was nobody around. It was just her and Stormi. And then, but
everybody was out like, what's
one
going
thing that does kind of make me feel like it wasn't rehearsed or fake is them tears, honey. I know when you are in pain, like them tears, that hiccup and that cry when you start losing all your airways because you're crying so hard, sometimes that just that did break me down. And I was like, oh, she going into labor now, could this be that time? But I just could never be too sure.
Okay, let's go into the comments. Latoya Israel said, the women on the show aren't being protected, especially Melody. Tiffany was wrong to get into Martell and Sheree's business, but at the same time, the men were wrong for double teaming on her, and that's the truth.
Period.
Production is shady. They will show a face that doesn't go with the scene, just like everyone assumed Mel had the same face. Oh God, Mel's face was like this all the reunion, as if she was shading everybody. At some point, I'm like, how can she keep her face in one way throughout the entire show? It's very impossible.
An image.
They were trying to make her look pathetic, as if she's annoyed with everybody. But it's very impossible for you to be angry every single scene. Made no sense. People are forgetting it's variety TV. If we're not talking about Tiffany, what would we be discussing about?
Nothing.
Tell those to the people who keep saying they need to fire Tiffany because
I
nothing
know,
is happening
like
in the show.
people are really like raving about firing Tiffany. I'm like, girl,
like Tiffany has brought it this season. She has saved it. She has saved this season so far. I don't know about letting Tiffany go right now. I don't know.
I know a lot of people are upset about what Tiffany said and all of that, but these are questions I wanted to know. Carlos is not going to ask them. So can Tiffany please get the questions out, please?
Somebody answer these questions. Ask them so that we know.
Yeah.
So we need at least, on all the shows, we need at least that one person who's going to ask the tough questions that everyone is going to want to know. Tiffany's definitely that person, and she does not care. Like she said, she's nosy, and she just wants to know.
Telling
So
you.
it,
I'm
Tiffany owns her shit. That's why I like Tiffany, because she'll own it.
She doesn't
yep.
own it.
She owns
Sorry.
it she owns it better than some. She
Mm-hmm.
will. Tiffany will. If now some stuff, if it gets too hot for her, yeah, she'll kind of try to backtrack it. But most of the time, she'll let you know, and she'll ask it in front of anybody. She will
Yep.
ask hard questions in front of anybody. Doesn't care who's around.
Yeah, that I absolutely appreciate. I feel like someone needs to ask. And also, I completely agree with succeeding. Like, people are mad at Tiffany for a conversation about a fake relationship. He doesn't even claim her. So, like, people need to stop being that upset.
I mean, in that
Hmm.
interview, he used every single word not to speak about the relationship with Sheree.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I still feel like Tiffany and Sheree, they could have had a conversation. I know Sheree might have been shocked in that moment, but girl, you are witty enough. We have seen you act on Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know how to come back if somebody comes for you. So I feel like regardless of if Tiffany was, Tiffany being pregnant or not, there's a way that you could have addressed what she said to you where y'all could have
I
hashed out
mean,
that.
she did not address because she knew Tiffany was pregnant. But the men who has had women or wives who have gotten pregnant did not understand, which is shocking to me.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah.
To be honest, I
Like
can't say
Tisha
that I'm
said,
shocked.
Tiffany may not be a close friend to Melody, and none of them are, but I don't like what Tiffany said to Sheree. I mean, Sheree came so she could get the 15 minutes of fame from Love Marriage Huntsville,
And she
which was
Mhm.
a
got it.
failed experiment because at the end of the day, it didn't work well. It did
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
No, it definitely didn't work out the way that
Yeah,
I feel like they thought it was going to.
yeah. So I think we've covered majority of everything there. Because in the next
Yeah.
episodes, when they show her being driven to the hospital, and then Latisha and Marsau's scam of a job, always putting that hard hat and standing in front of a construction site, taking pictures, which
We're
I don't know
tired.
what for.
Tired.
Oh my God,
But
And Tisha in this Pepto Bismol dress, in this 1997 prom dress that she had on these heels in this dirt. Baby, if you knew you were taking a picture breaking ground, why would you not dress a little bit more?
it's giving Martell with that fake thing with Chris that's probably coming up, where he was wearing a white polo shirt with clean shoes, and he said he's working in the construction site.
Right. Right. There we go.
But anyways, today was really fun. Thank you, Succeed, for becoming a YouTube member. And any last words before we end the live?
No, but Tiffany's gonna be the glue that holds the season together, then so be it. Let her keep asking them questions. And like Marcel said, if they gonna gossip, okay, go ahead and gossip, but at least gossip about some real stuff though. That's all I'm asking.
100%. I
Mm-hmm.
think Tiffany needs a raise. And I need to see next week. I'm really excited for next week, although I don't know if I should be excited because they might edit it out, like they've done a lot of these clips. But yeah, that's my final word, I guess, for the night.
All right. So I have actually nothing to say. I think this week we've gotten solid episodes. I hope Real House of Atlanta.
Ugh.
Right.
Yeah,
If
let's
I
hope
was not reviewing Real House of Atlanta, I would have stopped watching a long, long time ago.
Yeah, because they are not bringing it so far. So fingers
I
crossed
know.
that we
And all
get
these
something
rumors
better.
about them firing somebody, fire Candy, fire Kenya, fire Sheree, fire Marlo, keep Drew. Funny enough,
bring
keep
Portia.
Sawyer because she has a storyline.
Right. Bring back Portia. I'll take Portia back.
Yep. Yeah,
Telling
I
you.
think we need
Because we need
Portia.
somebody funny. I'm
Yeah.
bored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They should reduce it. They should go back, re-edit the episodes, and make it 12 episodes and put us out of our misery.
Please.
Yeah, don't leave us like this. Don't do it. But yeah, can't wait to review it tomorrow. Hopefully, it is worth a review because so
Yeah.
See you
worried.
guys next time. Don't forget to let me put the link. A Queen's Tea with Ginan. Don't forget, let me put our link in the comment section so you guys can go subscribe to
Yes, please subscribe, like my videos. Did you guys see the one with Martell and Belinda?
Mm.
And the fact is posting this child everywhere, but somehow
You
the
can't,
M&M kids
cannot be shown
need
anywhere.
to be. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very intentional.
Very.
Looking
But
like,
he's so jealous of his own kids, it makes no sense. But yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
yes. Please subscribe, guys. Support us.
Definitely. Thank you for joining.
Yeah.
I think you're still trying to
So
put in.
subscribe to Gigi Nan's page. I've put the link. You can also subscribe
you.
to reviews and recaps. Let me put her link too. I think I should actually just have this pre-saved so that next time I won't have to be searching for these links up and down. Okay, gotten it. Subscribe to Gigi Nan's page and subscribe to reviews and recaps. So you can just hit the link there and go subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys next week. Bye.
All right.
See you guys. Take care.
Bye.